Welcome everybody to another edition of Latto Talk, where we discuss all things related to neo-racial people. I'm El Mulaton, and tonight we're going to be talking about Latino versus Anglo mulattos. What's the cause of the divide? Is there even really a divide? It's going to be an open panel with multiple guests, so we'll get deep into this topic and see if Latto unity is possible. You can find this live every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on TikTok, so go ahead, give me a like, follow, or subscribe at Mongrel Uprising on TikTok, at Papa Mulaton on Instagram. TikTok doesn't like it whenever there's silence, so I'm just playing guitar in the background until we get some people to come in here. Yeah. But yeah, once we get enough people in here, then we'll get started. But in the meantime, I'm just going to be jamming on guitar. Y'all can kind of see it. Who remembers that song? Y'all remember that song? Got me lifted, shifted, higher than the ceiling. Ooh, it's the ultimate feeling. Got me lifted, feeling so gifted. Sugar, how you get so fly. Dumba 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 dumba. I don't know the lyrics when that other guy sings. What do we got? 80 in here, 6 now. Let's see. I'll go ahead and get started, I guess. Okay, here we go. Latino versus Anglo mulattos. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do a quick monologue, kind of give an overview of the situation, and then I'll open up the panel. And as you can see, it's going to be one person on the panel at a time, unless that one person on the panel is okay with having other people on. And I'll let them decide who can join. Obviously, be cordial, be polite, give each other the benefit of the doubt if there's any disagreements and all that stuff. And then all perspectives are welcome. So whether you, I don't know how to explain it any further than that. If whatever view you've got, I want to hear it. It doesn't matter. The whole point is to talk about these differences and try to resolve any issues outstanding, yeah? Mulatto Princess says, there's a few I'd like to see in this conversation, but I know they'll never join. Like who? I want to invite everybody. So basically the goal of this stream, at least from my perspective, is Latto unity. I still think it's possible. Who knows? That's what we're here to find out. It's kind of been my position from the beginning. I never realized that there was this kind of division, or I never thought that there could be. I mean, I guess I thought there could be, but I didn't think it was something insurmountable. And to Princess, your point, I invited as many people as I could, especially people key people who I know have strong opinions on this subject. So I invited Mindset. We already got Mulattoism here. I invited him. I invited Mulatto Vanguard. He didn't confirm or deny. He just left me on red. I invited Iberian. He should be coming. Pariah Disciple. I tried getting a hold of Day. I know he's got some opinions on this, but I think he's I don't know, taking a break from social media or something. So I also posted this on my story. I tried putting it in relevant group chats, so I really put the word out there. I really wanted as many people to come and give their opinion as possible. And hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. Latto Priest says, Dr. Mulaton's therapy office. Yeah, you got to remember at the end of the day, there's a lot of personalities and everybody's core values are different. Yeah. Latto Princess says, I figured you did all good. Okay, so a brief history of the divide. And for the record, I've kind of been on the outside of this. So I have that perspective. Yeah. So my understanding of like the history of this is probably not going to be complete. Hopefully having everybody here, they'll be able to fill in any pieces or correct the record. But basically my understanding is this started sometime last year, probably late last year, with Iberian Mulatto and Mulatto Vanguard. And I don't know how their like beef specifically happened. I don't have all the details. But the point is, the result of that beef was this kind of like split between Latino and Anglo mulattos, yeah? And a part of me thinks that split was probably already there to begin with, that there was at least some kind of underlying tension or some kind of division, because as soon as like those two had that falling out, like we started, I guess, hearing more rhetoric that was like I don't know, more negative rhetoric about each side. So for those of you who don't know, Iberian Mulatto, he's not really a content creator, but he joins like panels and stuff, and he's involved in the space. And a lot of he rubs people the wrong way. He's very blunt. He's very straightforward. He says whatever is on his mind, and he's got some strong opinions. Basically, he's got strong opinions pretty much about everybody that isn't mulatto and like his specific mix. And I'll have him up here, and he can explain himself better than I can, obviously. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's Mulatto Vanguard, who is, I mean, if you watch his content, he's got some very strong feelings about Hispanic people in general. And it just is the case that a lot of mulattos are Hispanic. A lot of mulattos are Latinos. So whenever you say certain things about Latinos, it's going to be interpreted a certain way. Yeah? Okay. So on that note, let's just like clarify that Hispanic doesn't mean mestizo. Latino doesn't mean mestizo. Okay? Hispanic generally just refers to Spanish-speaking people or people from a Spanish culture, a culture derived from Spanish-speaking peoples. Same with Latino, but instead of Spanish, it's going to be more languages and cultures derived from the Latin language and Latin cultures. Think of like Brazil, like right there, the Portuguese-speaking part of South America, all the Spanish-speaking parts, and then there's debate whether or not it includes the French-speaking parts. But Latino doesn't mean mestizo. It doesn't mean just generic brown person, yeah? I would say probably the majority of mulattos are Latinos, are Hispanic, yeah? And it seems like a lot of people forget that, or maybe they know it and they don't care. And maybe a lot of the negative things they have to say about Hispanics and Latinos are also directed at the mulattos, who are also Hispanic and Latino. I don't know. Again, the point of this live is to figure that out. That being said, there are genuine differences between these two sides, yeah? There's obvious the Latino Anglo label, that's an ethnic difference, really. But there's also genetic differences. Latinos obviously tend to have more Spanish and Portuguese ancestry. Anglo, it's in the name, English ancestry. You could extend it to like Anglo-Germanic ancestry, more Northwestern European. And for the record, I'm specifically focusing on the European ancestry because most of us have the same African ancestry. Most of us have ancestry from West Africa or Central Africa in that region, yeah? So we can't really divide each other up by, oh, you got Senegambian ancestry, and I'm over here Congolese mulatto. Like, we can't really do that. Latto Priest says, my people invented the Latin language. I got the OG Latino status. Yes, the original Latin race. Yes. But aside from like the genetic differences, I've noticed there's also differences in the experiences. Yeah. So like, you hear an Anglo mulatto talk about their experience here in the US, and it's going to be pretty different from the experience of a Latino mulatto, depending on what kind of Latino they are. So like, for example, Dominicans, they already got their community. They've already got their spaces. They've got their own country. Yeah. They've got that, at least the ones in America, they have like this backup plan. Yeah. They're and Anglo mulattos, it's almost like they're fighting for a place within America. Yeah. And so that's a different thing. So a lot of the problems that we're facing are different. Yeah. Obviously there's a lot of overlap. And so that's another like cause of division. What else? Another thing to mention here is in this situation is immigration. I've noticed there's been a lot of talks about immigration, and that inherently is going to involve mulattos who are Latinos or Hispanic. Yeah. And so whenever people are having these conversations and they're like, we got to get all these people out, it's like, are you talking about the mulattos too? Yeah. That's something that needs to be addressed. That's something that needs to be clarified. Yeah. Latto Priest says, whereas I'm between both ethnicities, so I can see things from a balanced perspective. Yeah. There's I was speaking to someone else who has kind of both ancestries. I mean, I have like single digit British ancestry, like ancestry from the British Isles, but I don't really count that. What I count more is my like my British like culture, because my mom is British, so I kind of grew up with that kind of Anglo-British culture. They're all Anglican and Methodist, and they care a lot about politeness and all this stuff. So I've kind of grown up with like that kind of like straight from England Anglo kind of culture, whereas most like Anglo mulattos they have like this American version of like Anglo-American culture. Yeah. So, and that's partly why I never came into this thinking of this kind of division. I kind of came into this thinking like, obviously we're going to be united. We're all going to be one. But apparently not. So another thing to talk about is the goals. A lot of people have different ideas of what like this space should be, or what the goals of this space should be. What is our goal? My goal from the beginning has always been a physical community. But some people don't have that. Some people don't really care about a physical community. They just want the online space. They want an online friend group of other mulattos. They want, online, I don't know, like connections and stuff like that. Maybe, meet up every now and then, but never actually trying to like create a physical community or anything of that nature. And if that is your goal, then like the whole like division thing, I don't know if it's as big of a deal. Like you would possibly be okay with it, because again, you're just trying to create an online friend group. And so obviously you're going to be like, I'm going to kick you out and all this stuff. So that tends to, I could see that happening if that's your goal. Whereas my goal is a physical community. So there's no like, oh, I disagree with you on a subject, therefore you're banished or excommunicated. It's like, no, if there's a difference of opinion, if there's a clash of personalities, we got to figure it out, or at the very least be cordial and just, still be able to occupy the same space, because that's the way communities, like actual communities, function. Mammer Time says, how long will this live go on for? I'm not sure. It depends on who shows up. I intend to make it to let it go as long as it needs to. Yeah, I usually end at about an hour and a half, but we'll see. Latto Priest says, I support whoever wants to put their effort into a physical community, but there are many obstacles that need to be addressed. Plus, you have to remember everyone in this space has a different ideology and goal, like you said. Yeah, so I intend to start making more content, getting into the weeds of that, of like the physical community, because I feel like it's split down the middle, but I may be in the minority with the physical community thing. And I haven't actually fully made my case for it, so I need to do that. That the responsibility is on me to make the case for it and defend that position. But yeah. Latto Princess, I obviously love mulatto couples, but we don't often date each other in the US. Yeah, and that's another thing that needs to be addressed. And hopefully, if not on this stream, I might dedicate a stream to that at some point in the future. The whole mulatto dating situation. We'll see. It's that one I think would probably be even more fiery than this one. Latto Priest says, I'd donate money to you if you were up for it. Most of us don't even live near each other, so it's definitely not easy to do that. Yeah, in the past, I've spoken about a great mulatto migration. Like, if there's ever going to be a mulatto community in America, there would have to be a migration of people. And I remember having a conversation with like several different Lattos one time on a live, and basically everybody was advocating for the community to be where they're currently living. Oh, it should be like, a dude was living in Florida. Oh, it should be in Florida. Some other dude was like in Kentucky or something. Oh, the community should be in Kentucky. And it's like, okay, yeah, but we gotta, if we're serious about this, we gotta like assess the situation, analyze different locations and spots like that. But again, that's a conversation for another stream. Latto Princess says Latin America or Southeast Asia. I'm Latino, so obviously I love the idea of being in Latin America. Southeast Asia, probably not so much. Okay, where was I? So we were on the subject of community, and one of the things that we have to take in consideration, and that if you're wanting a physical mulatto community, is that there's going to have to be like a mulatto melting pot. Okay, and what I mean by that is that we all are coming to the table with our various cultures, from each of our parents, obviously, or in the cases if you're multi-gen, you've probably got one culture that you can bring to the table. And the idea is that you come together and you blend those cultures together to create one culture, one unified ethnic identity. And remember, an ethnic identity is different from mulatto. Mulatto is your racial identity, but you would have to have something else be your ethnic identity. Give it a name, whatever. And the question is anybody really willing to do that? Of the people who have this goal of a physical community, are you willing to have that mulatto melting pot? Or are you just saying, no, my culture is supreme, everybody must bow down to it, And this somewhat applies also if you're talking about just having an online friend group, a mulatto space. And I refrain from calling what we have a mulatto community. We do not have a mulatto community yet, okay? Online connections, and these aren't communities, these are spaces. These are friend groups, yeah? Because in a community, the people have certain obligations to each other, certain duties. They know each other. They have relationships. They have history. That's a community, yeah? So if all you want is just the space, the online space for mulattoes, you kind of also have to have some flexibility when it comes to the differences in culture and differences in points of view. Yeah. And right now we're kind of not seeing that. So it's kind of the point of this live. Let's see. Latto Princess says Southeast Asia has purchasable land and property. I mean, everywhere in the world has that. Let's see. I think the main knock against Southeast Asia is it's very far from the U.S. So meaning if you're a Latto, you would and you have a good relationship with your family and you want to see them on a regular basis, you would have to fly to the other side of the world. Whereas even if I were to give you, hey, let's create a mulatto community abroad, which I'm not opposed to, I think most mulattoes are going to be more receptive to somewhere in the Western hemisphere, you know? And also the language barrier. Some people struggle with Spanish. Thai, Vietnamese, all them tones, like that's a whole beast right there. And a lot of people aren't gonna be willing to do that. Latto Pri says is also Southeast Asia is also nationalistic. I don't think they let foreigners who don't look like them come in and build a community for their people. I've heard that of some, but I don't think all. Like I know Thailand is very receptive to expats and tourists. But yeah, I don't know. I know you are right that they're nationalistic, because like, oh man, have you heard a Thai person talk about the royal family or like the king in Thailand? Oh man, that shit is creepy, man. It is creepy hearing like Thai people talk about the king. It's like they're talking about God or something. But okay. Latto Princess, hundreds of Westerners have assimilated and built there. Annabelle, most Dominicans are mulattos. Yep, yes they are. Latto Priest, it takes literally forever to become a citizen, plus there's limitations on what you can even do with the property if you're a foreigner. Yep. And again, you're on the other side of the world and you're having to do it in another language. Annabelle says, La Española was the first mixture of the Americas. Yeah. Latto Priest, there'd be less than 1% of American mulattoes who'd even consider trying that. Yeah, most mulattoes aren't even willing to like move to a different state, you know? Like I said, when I had that conversation, everybody was vying for having the mulatto community in their state because they didn't want to move, you know? What am I gonna do? Risk something, you know? Latto Princess, unfortunately, the Western sphere is too American influenced. A community of mulatto professionals who can contribute to an economy will be accepted anywhere. I feel like Asia is also Western influence. I don't think there's any escape. If you're trying to escape Western influence, I don't think there's an escape other than like the Middle East and like converting to Islam maybe. But even then, they're starting to succumb to a lot of American worldviews. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting off track with the chats. So like I said, my position is that I want unity. There's too few of us. There's no need for this division, I don't believe. I think we can come together and build something really big, something, you know, worth a damn. But at the same time, look, if there has to be a divide, fine, so be it. You know, the last thing I want to do is try to like force people to like each other, force people to, you know, pretend to like being around each other or whatever. So it's, you know, it is what it is. I will say finally just that I think the real divide is between those of us who identify as mulatto and those of us who are those who identify as BLK or some other, you know, nonsense. I don't know. Because a big source of the attacks that we get is from those people that are identifying as BLK. Let's see. Okay, let me get to the chats and then I'll open up the panel. Latto Priest says, I mean, if we can't even build anything where we reside at, why try that overseas? Yeah. I mean, the Amish have managed to escape Western influence. Yeah, and they're right in the heart of it, you know? Look at the small caps. Look at the cities they live in. Compare like the overall values of New York City to the small caps that live in New York City, you know? It's definitely possible, but I think we have to I need to make that case. Yeah. And I will get to it. Right now, I'm working on the history of the mulatto identity. That's kind of like my main project, which will be coming out soon. I'm now finished with the reading portion of it, and then now I'm going to be writing the scripts. And hopefully, what are we in June? Hopefully this month or in July, I will have my mulatto timeline out, so we can have like a history of the mulatto identity. Mulatto Princess, it is extremely delusional to think we can build a physical community in the United States. I don't see how you can make that statement, but then say, but it is possible in Southeast Asia. Like, I don't know about that. Latto Priest, I want unity too. We at least need to have agreements about what's off limits for us in terms of when we disagree with each other. Agreed, yeah. Why do you think it's impossible? It's even more unrealistic overseas when you're not a citizen. I'm not against traveling, but building a community overseas is unrealistic, especially when the average mulatto doesn't travel. Also, you have to consider the socioeconomic situation of the average mulatto in America. I don't know what that is. Traveling for tourism is not that big of a deal. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like my family was mostly lower middle class, and we were still able to travel like internationally. But now you're talking about living abroad, how are you going to get work? Does everybody have the ability to have remote work, to have a business or something like that? Latto Princess, the small caps received millions in restitution. We can barely get American Lattos to identify. Well, I mean, they had their communities long before any kind of restitution. Cinnabon says, I'm Iranic and Turkic, Kurdish and Turkmen. Not sure if I'd be classed as a mulatto. No. Iranic and Turkic. No, that wouldn't be mulatto. Okay. Panel is open. So... let me see if there's anybody. Okay, so nobody's requested to come up. Again, we're doing one person at a time on the panel, unless that person on the panel wants to allow someone else to come up. But yeah, so if you want to come up, just let me know. Until then, I'll just be like reading chats. And if y'all want to later, we can discuss the whole thing about the physical community. I don't mind talking about that. Latto Priest, most of us can't even agree on what to identify as. Yeah, exactly. To be fair, most people with a racial identity, they have the same issue, but probably not to the extent that we do. I think we have it a little worse. But I can tell you confidently that there will never be a physical community in the US. Well, not with that attitude. I can tell you that there are mulatto communities already in the US. Dominicans are majority mulattos. You've got Creoles, Louisiana Creoles. I think they're majority mulatto. If not, they're a large chunk of it. So right there. And I still don't get how it's going to be easier to create a physical community in a foreign country where you don't speak the language and you don't have citizenship, but it's going to be harder in a country where you do speak the language, you do have citizenship, and you're familiar with the laws. Like, I don't get that. Hey, Pink, how's it going? Okay, I see you requested Priest. I'll bring you up.
Yeah. Yo, Mulatto, can you?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah. I know this kind of delved into the whole community part, but obviously the topic is on Latino versus Anglo mulattoes. I just want to say that division is inevitable. Like whenever you have any community, especially online, um, because we're all different people with different values and different personalities and whatnot, really. But I think there definitely needs to be one core thing that all unites us, and I think that's just pushing back against the whole one drop stigma. And I feel like that's how like most of us came into the community because we just realized, oh hey, society keeps calling us black, but we're not really seen as black really. So I think that thing is what can all unite us, like no matter what, um, for the most part. Everything else, obviously, it's a little harder to unite on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with culture, ethnicity, religion, all the other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I think you're right onto that. Like, there's so many different ways for us to like divide, and I don't think it's necessary at all. Um, but
I don't either, and I also think that even if we do have like disagreements in this space, I still think there should be guidance. Like we shouldn't be like personally attacking each other. You get what I'm saying, right? Like I've seen people dox each other, try to spread rumors, all
yeah,
that type of shit. Like not like you know what I mean. Like I just really think there's no need for all that really because I mean we're already like 2% of the population, so it never helps when you divide really.
yeah. So you're right about setting like the guidelines and setting and everything. You know, um, I think this was part of why I actually started with um, trying to define mulatto because that's kind of like the whole point of us coming together is that we have this shared identity. So for me, I was like, okay, before we even start talking about these kinds of like guidelines and stuff like that, which is completely necessary, can we come to a general consensus on what even is a mulatto? And so that's why I started digging into the history, and I want to kind of set that foundation and say, here's what it is to be a mulatto. Can we all agree on this? And then have discussions about it and go on. And then, okay, we agree somewhat on what it means. We're not going to agree 100% on it. And then from there you go, okay, so what are our values? What are our goals? What are we trying to do?
Right.
And then we have debates about that because, like I said, some of us have different goals. Like some people want to have a community overseas. Some people only want to have an online community. Some people want a community here in the States. And it's like, okay, that's good. We have differences of opinions about what our objectives should be. Let's debate it. Let you make your case, I'll make my case, and we'll go back and forth. And then we'll see who has the better idea, who's the most convincing. Yeah.
Right. I fully agree, and I think that we need to respect that all of us have like different goals when it comes down to with identifying as a lotto because no matter what my goal is, right? You know what I mean? How I look and my experiences like that doesn't change. That doesn't matter who I date, where I go, or whatever really. But you're definitely right. Like there should be some core things that we do most definitely agree on really because and definitely one big thing that me and Iberian disagree on is the whole dating part really. Like I don't think like look unless you have like because I was in this Discord server, right? Unless you're in a Discord server like I mean like one where I don't know, they're telling you that, hey, we're building a mulatto a community. Um, you cannot date outside your own race if you're in here. You have to stay with another mulatto. Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. But to push it on everybody identifying as mulatto, I think that's a little bit too much. I think that's something that has to come organically. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me make sure I understand. So you're saying the pushing the idea that every Latto has to be with another Latto, that shouldn't be pushed on people.
Yeah, that shouldn't be like pushed on people. Like you can promote it, right? Like I have, like I mean, I always share like content of mulatto couples and whatnot. You know what I mean? I always like those photos, but to promote it to every single lotto, like I mean, to like push it down their throat and to like shame another lotto if they get outside of the race or whatever, that's not gonna do it. Because I mean, and here's how I know it doesn't work. I see these YT nationalist spaces and these BOK nationalist spaces. They do that shit all the time, but these guys never follow other freaking rules too. They never do.
Yeah, there's that one YT group in Missouri. I forgot what they call themselves. I don't know if they have a name specifically, but there was like a really short documentary talking about them, and I think it was like 5 guys and like 1 chick. At least that was the only chick that they showed. I don't know if she was the only one there, but it was like 5 guys, and they were like building houses out in the country, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but real quick, Pink and Latto Princess, they're apparently going at it in the chat. Let me see something real quick.
Yeah, I saw.
Hold on.
It's like a cat fight going on.
Yeah, be cordial. Be cordial. If y'all don't if y'all don't like each other, that's fine.
Yeah, please be cordial.
We're trying to be cordial and polite. So
yeah, they're trying to say, yeah, I guess the accusation is that Mulatto Princess is mindset.
Yeah. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me see something. Why the hell wouldn't this? I wish I could
Pink.
see.
Pink told Mulatto Princess to get on the panel. I mean, yo, Pink, do you want to come up here? Because or can I stay on?
Hold on. I'm trying to see who's all in here.
I want to hear this person. Wait, you want to hear Princess?
No, well, anybody can come up on the panel if they want to. Like, I know you're Priest. I know you're open to having other people on the panel. But okay.
Yeah, so, I'm open to it. Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't really mind. If Pink wants to come up here or Mulatto Princess does.
Yeah, so the way, but okay, so I'm only gonna have people up on here if they're going to discuss the topic. Like if we're going back and forth because we don't like each other, I'm not doing that. But I see Jorge.
Yeah, they have to discuss the topic.
I see Jorge wants to come up, so let's bring him in here.
Yeah, I don't mind having him up.
What's up?
What's up, Jorge?
Hello.
Okay, so
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, what are your thoughts on the topic? Go.
Latinos versus Anglo mulattoes. I don't really think there's no. Wait, are you talking about Latinos in general?
Okay, so did you hear my monologue at all, or did you just join?
I just joined.
Okay. So
Latino versus
let me
Anglo
give you the summary. So it is Latino mulattos versus Anglo mulattos. There's clearly some kind of divide in the mulatto space. So that's what I'm talking about. And I kind of already gave a brief introduction to how it started, about you and Vanguard, that whole thing. But if you can start wherever you want, but just your view on things as they stand now.
There is no beef. I do believe that if you're gonna make connections with mulattoes in general, whether they're Latino or Anglo or whatever you want to call it, you have to do it in your own state. I mean, not in your own state, in your own country. It does not make sense trying to bridge out, make this alliance when people can't even make alliances within the same nation or amongst their own.
Yeah,
That
I
makes no
actually
logical sense.
I actually agree with that fully, really, because that's why I always say in the United States, it really doesn't make any sense for us to try to be divided on ethnicity.
And
You're right. The cohesion has to start here in the United States
and
if we're going to try to build anything.
okay. And if you really want to make connections, because let's be real, the one Latino group everyone talks about is Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, Brazilians to some extent. If you're not willing to do it here, it doesn't make sense. Why would you want to go do it over there? I think the ones over here will have a lot more in common with you than the ones in a whole different country, and their primary language is not English.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it really, if you're really serious, it makes more sense to go meet Dominicans in New York over Dominicans in the island.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like I'm not against traveling and seeing different cities and whatnot, but trying to have like cohesion with other mulattoes, that that definitely does have to start here, because if you're not trying to get to know the mulattoes around you and try to understand where they're coming from, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you understand a whole nother country?
Yeah. Iberian. Iberian also. You. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Okay. There are people that are saying you're not really mulatto. What is your response to that?
I have my DNA results on my YouTube page, and I had it. Well, I could re-upload it back to my backup. This account right now, but my previous Iberian Mulatto account had my DNA results, like 2 different TikToks. So
what's your YouTube?
If they're too lazy to look it up and go to the pages, same Iberian Mulatto.
Okay, so it's at Iberian Mulatto.
Like, yeah.
Okay. So if
it's literally that.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to see his DNA test results, they're at Iberian Mulatto on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. So.
Wait. Fun fact. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was to say, if people think I'm like half indigenous, I wouldn't get the remarks you wouldn't. I wouldn't look part like Arab. Like, people that look indigenous, they kind of have people perceive more like Asian adjacent. Not exactly Asian, but some how some indigenous people have like Asian like traits.
Yeah.
Those traits will pop up. Like, you're not gonna.
Gotcha.
You're not gonna look like a Muhammad, but be mostly native. That just doesn't make sense.
Okay. Okay. So I think a lot of people have heard you say things about like negative things about Anglo mulattoes and their looks. So what is your like justification for that? Like, explain that.
There's no justification. I don't have to be attracted to them.
Okay, so it's that you're just not attracted to them.
I mean, like, yeah. There's no justification.
Okay.
Like.
Okay, so typically whenever you're not attracted,
but it doesn't matter. Here's the thing, but. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Typically, when you're not attracted to a group, you kind of just keep that to yourself. You don't really say it out loud for all to hear. So, like, do you think it was like necessary to do that? Because I think you knew it would turn people off. It would turn people away.
I guess, yeah. I wasn't really thinking. Well, I wasn't thinking, but I would still do it anyways. But the thing is, it shouldn't matter what I think.
Okay.
If I'm not attracted, if I say I'm not attracted to a certain group, that shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people. So there's plenty of people that say mulattoes are deformed, and I don't really care. Like, they have all these memes of saying mulattoes. Well, not even just mulattoes. Mixed people are deformed, specifically mixed with African. I don't really care.
I think it's more so the way that you say it, Iberian, than what you're saying. Like, it's just the way that you go.
What message?
Like, no, like when you say like people are subhuman or whatever. Like, I think that's kind of what I think it's just the way you say it. It's
Also-
not necessarily you
also
saying
another thing,
into it, but
hold on. Priest brings up a good point. There's a lot of like clips that people can provide of you saying some extreme stuff. What do you have to say about that stuff?
So
Like,
I
is it
said it.
like well, I know you said it. We all know you said it. But I'm saying like, was it trolling?
Yeah, sometimes
do you
I'm
actually?
joking around, but
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wanting you to explain. Was it joking? Was it trolling? Was it stuff that you
yeah,
actually
but I'm
believed?
really no, I don't believe it. If I was actually this extreme, I would have been doing something. If I actually believed to that level of extent.
So you're not
Now, dealing
actually.
with,
Hold on.
African-Americans
So you're not actually
Black
trying
people-
to. Hold on. You're not actually trying to. You're not like actively trying to colonize Africa right now, are you?
No, come on. Like, you know how ridiculous that sounds? I'm going to go to Spain and Portugal. Get Spaniard and Portuguese, bring them over to Africa and use them to enslave black men. Does that make any logical sense?
I mean, there was a video that somebody made of you, and you were saying how you're going to colonize Africa, and this person seemed genuinely afraid that you were going to do that. Like, you were on the verge of like taking over Africa. So I mean, I had to ask.
Yeah. A one-man colonization project. Yes, I'm gonna do it by myself. I'm gonna colonize an entire continent of people by myself. Yes.
Okay.
That makes logical sense.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so it's your position though, Jorge, that there can't or there shouldn't be any unity between Latino mulattos and Anglo mulattos, right? That's your position.
Well, they need to have their own things. They're the majority over here anyways. So they have to actually, whether I say it or not, they're the majority mixed group, not just of like Latino mulattoes, but just mixed people in general. They are the majority because Black Americans mixed with white Americans, because white Americans are the biggest still the biggest population currently of Americans. And they're the biggest mixed race group.
Grease Sushi, thank you for the heart.
Let's just say I was totally against it. It wouldn't have no impact because that's a small subsection. They still have to actually they actually have to work together. Like, how did Dominican Republic become its own country? They actually formed families. They actually work together.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's trying to bypass that part and go to Latin America. I'm like, that makes no sense.
Okay, so hold on. So you're saying you think Anglo mulattos should have their own thing. They should do their own thing separate from Latino mulattos. And then you said that they're the majority. But why do you think there should be that separation?
Because they have unique problems amongst themselves. Like, we don't, like, our white people are not the same white people as their white people. Like,
to be fair, dude, I'm not a fully Anglo mulatto, but I do have some other problems that Anglo mulattoes do. I'll be honest, I relate more to Anglo mulattoes than I do Latin American mulattoes, really. And that's the thing with the American identity. It's way more than just one genetic ethnicity, really.
So I want to add on to that. Hold on, priest. Hold on. I'm in a similar situation, priest, because I mean, that's partly why I never really saw this divide as a big deal, because I kind of have like one foot in the Latino mulatto space because I am Latino, but then also I've had some of the similar experiences that Anglos have. And Iberian, you and I have discussed it too, because I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. You've never really faced like one dropping that much. Like, people just kind of viewed you as like a question mark. Whereas with me, I've been one dropped my entire life. And so that's why identify with more Anglo Mulattos in that regard because I'm adamantly opposed to the one drop rule and I view it as a major problem. So what do you say to me and Priest about that?
Okay? Is your white family or just the white your Mexican side, are they race purists?
No.
To the nth degree, they go around talking about no mixing all the. Sorry, they go around talking about no mixing all the time.
Nope.
Okay, that's white Americans right there.
I mean,
I'm not saying all, but that's something.
I mean, would you say that that's really like the average like mulatto that has a white family? Because I mean,
No. That's not the point. That's not the No, I'm not saying that's the average family. I'm saying that actually exists amongst them.
Like he's not talking about specifically. Hold on.
Like,
let me clarify real quick. Hold on, Priest. He's not talking about the family. He's talking about if you're Anglo mulatto, the Anglo people in general in America kind of have that view, and so your relationship with that other racial group is like that. Whereas with me, like my like white Mexican family, like they're not really like that. You know, granted there are some that are like that, but for the most part, it's not really that super like racial purity kind of thing.
Like the fact that they're white people are going around claiming other Europeans, but not the people that are mixed with them, makes no logical sense.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was one dropped by my Italian family. Really, I mean, they wanted me to call myself to be okay, and then, I mean, I've met plenty of Italian Americans who they have the same mindset as like Anglos. Really.
Yeah. Okay, so Iberian, so you're saying that the white people that they descend from have this kind of mentality, but now connect that to your arguments. Oh crap! Hold on a sec. Okay, so
would you agree that when
tie that into your main arguments that there should be this separation and that they have differences? And this is one of those differences. Why is that difference important? And how? Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, repeat that.
So the question I'm having is you initially said that Latino and Anglo mulattos should be separate, and then you said they have problems that Latino mulattos don't have, and then you named the thing about Anglo Americans being racial purists and stuff like that. So now connect that, like, why wouldn't it be the case, for example, that let's say Latino and Anglo mulattos can come together and resist that, even though it's a problem that uniquely affects them, provided that obviously they would also help us with issues that uniquely affect us.
What the hell could they help me that uniquely? Wait, what could they actually help me with? That doesn't even make sense.
Building a community. And let's say for example, there's another Anglo mulatto who genuinely wants a physical community here in the U.S. Someone like that.
Well, most of them aren't even. All the big heads are never talking about that. Let's be real. Most of the big heads aren't even talking about that. Nor do they want to meet. They don't do shit in the U.S. They don't meet up with each other and none of that. They don't have to, but it's like they're the major heads and they're the background. They're the main ethnic group in the United States. Black, white, Anglo, mulattoes, whatever they want to call themselves, I don't care. But they're the main ethnic group, and they don't want to meet up with their own. They're talking about going to Brazil. Does that make any sense? Like, they don't want to meet up with their own.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not even talking about going. I'm not even talking about going to Latin America. What doesn't even make sense for me. What am I gonna do over there? Like, literally, what am I gonna do?
Well, the argument would be, you would create a mulatto community down there. Either, and in your case, you're already Latino.
Wait a minute. So, if I can't do it here, What the hell would I be able to do it over there? If I can't do it in the most powerful country on earth.
Okay, so
does that make sense? Like, I can't. Oh, go ahead.
The idea is that if you didn't explicitly like build a community out there, then you would join a mulatto community over there. But okay, hold on a second.
But we can do this over here.
Now that I think about it, there's very few explicitly mulatto communities abroad. I mean, there's probably some, but they're usually like mixed with different groups. But
well,
you get what I mean.
Well, there is one that's in there is one that's in these islands. I'm trying to think of the names of the islands. I think they're called the Canary Islands or something.
There's a mulatto
it's
community.
Like majority Anglo Mulatto, from what I was looking at.
Anglo.
Yeah, it's in a British territory.
Canary Islands, you know, the one that's part of Spain? Those islands?
No, no. I don't think it's like Canary, but there is like a British territory that's full of Anglo. I kid you. I was just looking it up, really.
Okay.
It's not a country, but it's like a British territory. Forgot what it was called.
And also, like, them talking shit about and complaining about the women. Like, I'm sorry, but most of these guys, Anglo mulattoes they're dating Asian. I don't have a problem. You can date with whoever you want, but makes no sense for them to complain about the women. Oh, they're getting with Pookie. I'm like, but if you have an issue with these women getting with Pookie, why don't you have an issue with these same black men? Like, that applies to white women too.
You're talking
they're
about
doing the same shit
about the white women and getting with black men and all that.
No. Oh, the Anglo mulattoes getting with Pookie or Pookie's preference. I'm like, okay, but that applies to any that logic could apply to white women too.
Okay.
So like basically giving that sentiment of like the Bantu mulattoes, basically calling them mud sharks. Let's be real. Or having that much. You know how white men have that issue with black men getting with white women, and it's just by default they're mud sharks.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then. Let's say let's put you in their shoes. Let's say, okay, so you're a Latino mulatto, and let's say there's a bunch of Latina mulatas here where you live, but they're all getting with some other race of people. How would you respond to that situation?
If they're doing it, just find one that isn't.
Wait, what?
Especially if I'm dating out, like that. I definitely am not in the position to tell them to complain about it. That looks stupid as hell. If I have let's say I had a Chinese girlfriend or I don't know a Saudi Arabian girlfriend, then I turn on the internet and complain. I shouldn't have anything to say about them. Period.
Well,
at all, because I'm not even dating them.
The argument being that you would be with that like Saudi girl because all the Latina mulatas in this scenario are
okay, but this isn't happening in the real world. Okay, all these quote unquote mulattoes dunking on these motherfuckers. What, they never give real world examples. They're always talking about pop the balloon or some dumb shit they saw on the internet.
I mean, social media has a lot of influence.
Okay, so what, if it's that big, you have to open the front door and the woman's dunking on your ass.
No, but I think it's real because it's getting millions of views versus where our spaces.
That doesn't mean shit.
I mean, we can't even. No, but this is like negative content that's in the millions, and other mulattoes are seeing. So you do have to kind of.
Okay, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna be, I'm sorry, if you can't prove to me this is directly happening in the real world, and you're using pop the fucking balloon, you're a fucking idiot.
Okay.
And to be fair, and I've already said this, in the real world, I've had Anglo mulatto friends. They never were sitting there trying to talk to these women. They kind of viewed them as black girls.
You're saying,
and we're always in fact in my own city.
Hold on.
Most of them get with white women or Hispanic women.
You're saying that Anglo mulatto men do that.
What?
that you're saying that the Anglo mulatto men are not like approaching the Anglo mulatas or trying to
Like,
be.
screw the approaching part. They don't even find them attractive. So it doesn't even matter if they approach them. If you don't find them attractive or want to date them.
But why do you think they don't find them attractive though? Where are you getting that from?
I don't know. Oh, okay. You know how as guys, especially we'll talk about what women we find attractive.
Yeah.
Okay, why they name off white women and Hispanic women most of the time, and some Asians occasionally. I'm not saying all this for all of them, but you kind of notice a pattern. And then when I walk around my city, because there's a lot of them in my city, they're with everything but her. And you're not gonna sit there and tell me all like 100% of these mixed women are saying they're all soft and light skinned. That makes no sense.
Shout out to Montana in the chat. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Let's see.
Does that make logical sense?
I get where you're coming from. I don't, like I said, I didn't grow up in a mulatto area, so I don't really have that experience. So I don't.
And I never had these issues with these women. I'm not saying nobody's obligated to date anybody, but they never went around harassing me, dunking on me, calling me effeminate, calling me a light skinned or whatever goofy shit. I don't consider myself a light skinned. That's their term.
Oh crap! My mic's messing up. Okay, I still need a direct answer though, because I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. So let's say you're talking to one of these Anglo mulattos who's having this problem, and he's saying he's telling you, he's like, Jorge, manito, like these girls, they don't want to like date me because I'm mulatto. They want to be with all these other racial groups of guys. And you're saying you don't like the idea of him.
Well,
hold on. You're saying you don't like the idea of him like traveling to some other country to get some other type of girl. So what would you have him do?
Wait a minute. You should be. Well, there's 330 million of people in this country. I believe there's 330 million. You're gonna tell me what you can't find a mixed chick in the country at all? Now there may be like certain areas where there's borderline no mixed people. Maybe like I guess in your area, just like take the mulatto shit out of it. There's probably very few mixed people where you live. But if you're in California, New York, or like in a metropolitan, you're gonna be able to find one. Mainly in California, maybe on the West Coast though, but you should. There's no way in hell.
But it's specifically hold on. It's specifically finding a mulata that at least is open to the idea of identifying as a mulata or identifies as mixed or biracial and is not BLK identified.
Whoa,
don't you admit that that's hold on, priest. Hold on, priest. I want Iberian to answer this. You have to admit that that's incredibly difficult to find because mulattoes in general in America are a minority, like probably single digits. And then now you're trying to find someone who identifies as mixed biracial or mulatto.
So the solution is to go be a sex tourist and fly across the planet. That's the solution.
But I'm asking you what you believe the solution is. Instead of flying to another country, what should someone in that situation do?
Well, they should be able to find. There's no way they're gonna sit there and tell me. There's more women than men on average. If anything, I would expect a woman to be saying this to me. I would accept this. Like,
what if I told you that there are women there are a lot of women that say the same thing, that they physically cannot find a mulatto man. It is legit hard.
And now if they can find an area, okay, if they're in an area where there's no mixed people, okay, yeah, you're not gonna find. So you more than likely, if you want to find mixed guys, you're gonna have to move and shift to a different area within the same country.
Okay.
So you maybe the West Coast or whatever. But
but then you have to remember a large portion of mixed people in this country, and you can look it up too. Outside of the East Coast and West Coast, a large portion of the mulatto population, they're usually children. And, trying to find people, then also...
How is overwhelmingly just children?
No, a large portion are children. You can look that up.
Okay, I don't want to... Okay, we're kind of getting off topic because I kind of didn't want this to be like the dating.
Okay, but there's... Okay, okay. So you're going to... Wait, Mulatto, you expect me to believe that there's more women than men, just universally, just on average. Now, you're going to tell me borderline scraping into 90% of the time the women are not, they're not, they're rejecting the guys majority of the time when these men, quote unquote, approach them.
I have no idea. You would have to ask one of them. Because I don't know
believe that part.
I don't know what their position would be. That's why
they're attracted to what they are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I get that. Okay. So, I think I'm gonna.
Okay. So, what kind of answer do you want? Like, it sounds ridiculous that I can't find them. Wait a minute. There's more women than men, bro. If you're not talking to them, that's on you. Like, she's not gonna bend you over. Like, you have to talk to her. Like, that's generally how dating dynamics go. Women just generally, I'm not saying it never happens, but on average, men approach women.
Yeah. Okay. So you make some strong points, and I think we probably need to have like a stream dedicated to that, because I wanted to keep this on the Latino Anglo thing, and we kind of devolved into the dating thing.
Okay. So we could go back to the
yeah. I don't think I have any more questions. I mean, we already kind of got your view. We got Priest's view.
And and the dunking, like, okay, the dunking on women. You're not seeing like let's just use Dominicans. They're not going out their way to dunk on their women like that. That's not. They're going to look.
I mean, to be fair, Iberian. If you just like type up, light skin jokes or light skin memes, if you see majority of the people like making like gender jokes about light skinned people, it's usually
bro. Okay, right there. The fact that you got, it sounds like you want to accept it from blacks. It sounds black people. Do you want to accept it from African Americans?
No, I said no.
But why do you
majority,
care? I've never cared. Wait.
I'm not talking about blacks. I said like majority of the jokes about light skinned people that are like gendered. It's usually towards light-skinned men, and if you see somebody light-skinned making it, it's usually the women doing it. Like, I've never really heard a light-skinned.
I haven't. Okay,
hopefully, bro. Okay, I don't like light-skinned.
In the real world, okay, priest. In the real world, I've heard the most racist shit come out of mixed women about darker-skinned black people. In the real world,
that's.
I don't use the internet,
though. I don't.
No. You're using the internet. That's definitely anecdotal.
No, it's not
even anecdotal. That's just you watching a video.
No,
sorry, it's not even perfect.
No, that's more.
Wait a minute. Whoa. We're gonna base our reality on videos off of YouTube. Is this what you're telling me? And it does. Okay, so. Why, if they are, okay, let's just say fine. Let's entertain the fact that they are. Why not just ignore them?
Their videos getting like millions of views though, so I don't think that should be ignored.
Wait. I gotta ask you, why the hell do you even care about light skins? I don't consider myself under the light skin.
They say lights. No, but that's how the general public talks though. They usually, refer to us as light skins though. You have to remember.
No, I don't.
No, that is how.
I don't get referred to as a light skin. But
nobody's
running around.
Okay, hold on. Stop. Okay, Iberian, I've been called light skin, and I'm quite obviously not that kind of like.
No, just running around. Hey, light skin, what you doing? Like, no, they're not running around doing that with me.
Yeah, but the thing is,
still referred to as a light skin too.
But the thing is, again, Iberian. Hold on, Iberian. The thing is, hold on, Iberian. Stop. Can you hear me? Okay. So this is what I'm trying to say is that there are experiences that you have, and those aren't universal for everybody. Just like you said that you haven't really been one-dropped, but I'm also a Latino mulatto. I have been one-dropped my whole life. You say you haven't really experienced that much like racism or discrimination from Hispanics, but I have. Okay, and just because you haven't been called light skin doesn't mean that any other mixed person hasn't ever been called light skin or anything like that. Like, it's just that's just the way it is. Like, I think you probably have a unique experience. I don't know, but my experience is different from yours, and I'm just telling you that this is my perspective.
Okay, mindset, that's not really true. Like, there's Blasians at the same skin tone, too.
What up, mindset? Okay, so Iberian.
That's not even a true statement.
Okay, so since we got mindset here, I'm gonna bring mindset up. Iberian.
Well, I don't care, bro. Okay, but the moral of the story I'm trying to say is I don't care what black people think. I really don't care. Their opinion means nothing to me. I care more about my toilet flushing than what they think of light skins.
Okay.
It doesn't have an impact on me. I just ignore that. It's not important to me.
Okay.
If it really has that much of an impact on you,
I was referring to what mulattoes think.
Stop talking. Okay. I've had y'all on here for like 30 minutes, so I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna bring y'all.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna let y'all down. Hold on. No, Iberian. Stop. Stop. Okay. I'm just. Good fucking lord, people. I've had y'all both on here for 30 minutes now, so we had a good discussion. I kind of got y'all's point of view. We got it. So now that we got like mindset here and we got some other people here, I want to bring them up. And again, the rules is one person at a time on a panel. The only reason I had Priest and Iberian on was because I had Priest on first and he was okay with Iberian coming on and joining. So mindset, if you're ready to jump up on the panel, let me know. You can just send a request. And everybody else, if you have an opinion about this, if you want to provide your 2 cents, you can either do it in the chat or you can join the panel. We can discuss this. And hopefully it'll be productive. Oh, and then also remember that third bullet point there, be cordial and polite. I don't care what your perspective is. I want to hear everybody's perspective on the issue, on the topic, but just be cordial and polite about it. You don't have to. We don't have to be dicks about it. Yeah. Mulatto mindset. What's up?
What's going on? Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing great. I got to make this quick. I'm meeting up with my cousin pretty soon, so I got a little bit of time for you, though.
Awesome. So just give me your general point of view on this Latino versus Anglo mulatto divide and what you think of it.
I mean, quite honestly, I think it's BS. I mean, I think we have a similar issue, which is the absorption of our people. And, you know, the best thing to do, obviously what you also agree on as well, is to form an alliance, right? Because we're getting absorbed under the Black identity, and same thing with, like, you know, the Latino mulattoes are getting absorbed as well by other groups of people down over there where they're at. We're both in the Western Hemisphere. It makes sense to me. I mean, I don't see what the divide should be.
Yeah, exactly. I did a monologue earlier, pretty much saying the same thing, that, you know, when I entered this space, my whole idea was unity, and it just kind of seems unfortunate that hold on, I'm hearing an echo.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's fine. And it's just unfortunate that now there's kind of been divisions. I don't know how big of a deal it is. Hopefully it's not as big as it seems. Hopefully there can be some kind of unity and stuff like that. I've never really heard you kind of like say anything like on this matter, really, aside from just the fact that we should be united. So I think that's good. And
right.
That's kind of been my point.
Right. Too. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I said, you know, was obviously the guy in the chat, Jorge, you know, with his divisiveness, you know, coming in my comment section on YouTube and comment section on TikTok, just, you know, being disrespectful, trying to split up, you know, Latino mulattoes opposed to, you know, what he would consider to be Northern European mulattoes. You know, I mean, you guys seen all the things that he was saying about people with Anglo-Saxon blood. So, you know, it's really only a couple dudes that are doing that. Like you're all for that unity. I've never heard you say anything negative about mulattoes with, Northern European blood, which it's funny because it doesn't make sense at all. I mean, why would you try to split up mulattoes on the European blood, but not split mulattoes up on the African blood, right? I mean, so, if we want to do all that, then, I mean, we will be split up all over the place, right? I mean, even Latino mulattoes will be split up based on their African blood. So, it's complete nonsense. It's not conducive to our goals that we're trying to accomplish as just having our autonomy as being mixed race people.
Gotcha. Well said. The only other thing I can think of, you and I have slight differences of opinion on like the goals of like what this mulatto space should be and like tactics and stuff like that. So just kind of like give your I'd like your kind of assessment of the situation that like mulattoes are facing and what the solution should be.
Hold on one second, man. Hey, hold on one second. Yeah, hello?
I'm here.
Es para ti. Shit. All right, my bad, man. My bad. Sorry about that. I had to tell my cousin to hold on one second.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
so can you say your question one more time?
Yeah, just give us your assessment of like the main problems facing mulattoes now and what you think the solution should be.
Right now, I think the main problem with the mulattoes, obviously the divide with the Latino and Anglo mulattoes, that's a problem. I think we should work together. Also, we are having an issue with like the mulatto women as far as them kind of, playing into that emasculation campaign as far as, trying to say that light-skinned men are soft, or mulatto men are soft or whatever, and that whole little emasculation campaign thing for them to kind of pander to black people, pander to black dudes. But that's an issue that's kind of on them, So, I don't know how we as men can fix that. The best thing we can do is, link up together, build businesses and focus on businesses and building our community as far as like entrepreneurship and stuff like that. I think that's the best option that we got right now.
Okay, gotcha. But you also believe that mulatto men should travel abroad, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so we had Iberian on.
Absolutely.
And so like I'll give you my brief opinion. I'm not solely in one camp or the other. I'm open to like traveling abroad. I'm open to like building here in the US. But Iberian, he's completely in the build only in America. So what would you say to the argument that if you're willing to travel abroad, let's say to another country to find a partner, why wouldn't you, let's say, like travel to another part of the US where you can try to find a mulata who's not black identified?
Well, that's the thing. That's a needle in a haystack. Number one, a lot of American women, because of that one drop stigma that's placed on them, there's a lot of American mulatto women that are not mulatto identified. Number one. Number two, there's no law. There's no international law that says that you have to date women that are from your country. I like Iberian mulatto to bring that statute up, that code up, that says that you cannot date women from other countries, which is absolutely ridiculous. Number three, Iberian mulatto is an American himself, but he's acting as if he is actually a Latino mulatto from Latin America. He's actually from America. So I don't understand why he doesn't build in America with American mulatto women, because those are also his women as well, if he is a mulatto. But, that's another story for another day. We're not going to talk about that. Let's just assume that he's mulatto. I don't know why he's not building with mulatto women. I mean, not born in Latin America, so I don't get it.
Yeah. So ultimately, your point is that it's trying to find that non-Black identified mulata is like finding a needle in a haystack. And it's just not worth your time. That you're better off just going anywhere outside of the U.S.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing too. It's like a community now is not just an online community. It's not just a physical community. Communities are now online. So it's like you could be abroad somewhere and still support the community within America, from somewhere like Vietnam, from somewhere like Thailand. I mean, you could do like an online petition and you can sign that online. Nobody goes door to door knocking on somebody's house to see if you can sign a petition physically. You can still be in support of mulattoes in America online, right? You could do everything you need to do, build businesses out there. People from all over the world go to other countries and build businesses, other ethnic groups, other races, and they're very successful. And I think that's the best start for mulatto men, is to build out, get your economics up, and then build in. Bring that money that you made overseas and bring it back to America if you wish to do that. America's not the place anymore where it's like, this is the only spot to make money. The world is more globally connected than it's ever been. It's 2026. Travel is more accessible than ever. So, there's other countries that are emerging, other countries, their GDP is getting better, their infrastructure is getting better. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. And to start a business abroad takes a lot less money to do in other countries than it does in America. So it's a great starting point.
Don't you think it would be harder for the average mulatto to start a business in a foreign country where he doesn't speak the language than in America where he knows the laws and he speaks the language?
Say that again?
So don't you think it would be easier for a mulatto to create a business in America where he speaks the language and knows the laws versus traveling to another country, moving entirely and building where he doesn't speak the language and is not familiar with the laws?
No, I don't think that at all, man. I think, that's something that you learn in the process of going to another country. I also think that builds better entrepreneurship skills. The fact that you are venturing out, doing something that is outside of your norm. Like I said, people do this all the time. People of other countries and ethnicities and races, they do this all the time. So, just imagine if the Koreans said that about moving to America. The Koreans have came to America and created a lot of successful businesses. They have areas over there in California, like Diamond Bar, that was full of their businesses. You see nothing but Korean businesses out there. So, there was a point where they didn't know our language. There was a point where they didn't know our laws, but they ended up learning all that stuff, and they became very successful at a time where America, you were able to be successful in this country just by, being able to start businesses easier than it is now. Because, nowadays in America, most people are trying to move out. The middle class is being decimated. So it's not the same as when these people moved, from their home countries to here back in like the 60s, 70s and 80s and stuff. So, yeah.
Gotcha. And so why do you like Thailand? Like what's the draw for you for Southeast Asia or Asia in general versus like other places? Because I know you're that's kind of primarily where you go to, but what's the selling point for that region?
Well, it's not just Thailand. I also like Vietnam as well. It's really the whole Southeast Asia and East Asia area that I like, pretty much Asia in general. I haven't explored Central Asia yet or South Asia, such as like places like India and stuff, or Bhutan and stuff like that. But number one, the people are just so respectful. That's number one. I mean, when you go out there, you see the major difference of, how people are, the respect that they give you, the respect that you give to them. Number two, the infrastructure. The infrastructure is better out there, despite what people would think about America being a first world country. I mean, America doesn't even have a bullet train. We haven't even designed a bullet train to even go from San Francisco to Los Angeles. You go anywhere in China, Hong Kong, you go to Italy, you go to all these different countries, you go to Japan. I took a bullet train from Tokyo all the way down to Osaka. They don't have that type of stuff out here in America. So transportation is very accessible. It's cheap. But yeah, there's a lot of different a lot of different things on why I like the area out there. I mean, safer number one. In every major city out here in America, you basically got to walk around with a concealed weapon, right? You basically got to have a concealed weapon in every major city that you go to. You go to places like Bangkok, Tokyo, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. You could just walk around at all hours of the night. You don't feel like you even need a pocket knife on you, man. I mean, so it just makes sense. Like, I just see the direction of where America's going. I love this country, but you see the direction of where it's going, and it's just not going in the best direction, in my opinion.
Yeah. Let me know whenever you have to go. The only other question.
Hold on, let me answer this question real quick in the chat.
Okay.
Because this guy Dun he says why is it safer? Like, why isn't America safer? I think that's a very obvious thing that I'm stating, that Southeast Asia and East Asia are a lot safer than America. I think that's very obvious. Number one, you could just go on the Global Peace Index and see that America ranks 128th on the Global Peace Index. So, I mean, what I'm saying is not like stuff that's not common knowledge. That's very common knowledge.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I just had to call that out because I don't know why he's laughing at that.
Yeah, I've actually been to Asia. I've only been to Hong Kong. And yeah, it's a lot safer than America. At least if you're comparing city to city, then yeah, it's a hell of a lot safer over there. But the only other question I had is, so I'm pretty sure you want like the mulatto race to continue. If let's say we had like a bunch of mulattoes go to Asia or anywhere abroad, don't you think it would just end up where they're just blending into the local population and then just kind of breeding themselves out?
You could put it like that, but the thing is, as long as there's white women and black men, they're always going to be procreating. They're always going to mix. And I know a rebuttal to that could be, well, you know, you want to have a mulatto family with mulatto parents because that will teach them how to be proud to be mulatto. But most of us that are in this mulatto community, I know like you don't, I believe you're like MGM, but most of us mulattoes, like we have a white parent and black parent, but we're still proud to be mulatto. So it's not like all the mulattoes that are made from white and black people are not going to grow up to be proud of who they are or understand who they are, because we all found our way. So I believe other mulattoes can find their way too. But let's just say you do go to Asia and you do, have children with Asian women out there as a mulatto man. They might not be mulatto, but you still are making a triracial baby. So you are having a mixed race kid at the end of the day. So,
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, that's it, man. I'm sorry, man. I kind of got messed up a little bit because my cousin just popped up. We're just going to be hanging out tonight. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate being up here. I always like being on the live streams with you, man. Like how we did a couple weeks ago. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we should definitely try to have another live stream again when I'm not busy. He just popped up at this time and we had some plans to go out to eat. So
yeah, sure. Have a good time, man.
But yeah, man, that's all I would say. I would say Latino mulattoes and American, AKA Northern European mulattoes, man. I mean, it's best for us just like stick together, man. I've never said anything negative about the Latino mulatto community. The only person I made a video on was Iberian mulatto. That was it. But, like I said, in that video, there's, screenshots of him saying nasty stuff about mulattoes that have Anglo, Saxon, European blood. So, that needed to be called out because that's some real kind of weirdo buster type of stuff, So, hey, you got to get called out, man. I mean, I don't know why you're saying that. I never said that about Latino mulattoes. So, I don't know why he was saying that about us. But I think it was like really divisive, uncalled for, unnecessary. But hey, we try to give him a space where, he could be accepted, but he didn't want that. We had open arms to him, but at the end of the day, he didn't want that. So that's his problem.
Yeah. Well, all right then. Thanks for joining, man.
Sounds good, man. Thank you for having me up there, man. Peace.
See ya.
All right, well.
All right. Mulatto mindset. See, there was some activity in the chat, but it's all good. Okay. There was a question or a comment I wanted to address. Hey, Alma, good to see you in here. Alma says mulattoes will never go extinct. Why is this a question? So the issue isn't that mulattoes are going to go extinct. It's more like they're going to be in a perpetual state of being stuck between these two races, BLK and YT. Like, I think the best environment for a mulatto to grow up in is two mulatto parents. From a racial perspective, obviously, I would rather a mulatto grow up with a black and white parents that were actually loving, caring parents than two mulatto parents who were like pieces of shit. But, you know, all things being equal, two mulatto parents are going to understand how to navigate this world as a mulatto. They're going to understand all the troubles that you're going to go through, you know, when you're a teenager, when you're adult, and all these different stages in life. And it's really just about trying to put the future mulatto generations in the best situation possible. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be in between these two races that like despise each other, you know? But that's a very American perspective. It may, you know, now that I think about it, it may be different in Europe where let's just say there's less animosity, and there's not that, you know, that kind of history. So you could probably, you know, it would probably be different in that environment. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Where was I with the chat? Jorge says, can I come up? Yeah, I can. I'll let me wait a little bit and see if anybody else wants to come up. And then if not, then I'll bring you back up. Amma says, but we have had communities like that and they default to BLK. The thing is, like, I don't know if y'all are involved in politics, there's an expression that says like any organization or space that isn't explicitly right wing will eventually become left wing. And it's kind of like that with the mulatto identity, at least I think. If you create a space or a community and it's not explicitly we are mulattoes and this is what we are about, it's gonna devolve into something else, you know. Mulatto Princess, unfortunately, you won't get that in America. They call themselves light skin black host. A lot of, well, yeah, you have to understand like the environment though is different. These quote light skin blacks are usually coming from either two Lotto parents or they're coming from two Griff parents or something, or two quadroon parents, some kind of mixture like that, you know. And they come from families and generations that have been identifying as black, where I'm talking about, again, it has to be explicitly mulatto. So you have two mulatto parents who are identifying that way and are very adamant about identifying that way. They're not, there's no like giving in on that identity, no compromise on it. That's going to be the better environment for like kids. Dun says, there's no way I'm leaving America. You know, I'm open to the idea because, again, like I have, you know, one parent that's a whole immigrant, and, you know, we've spent time like traveling to my mom's home country and stuff. So like I like abroad, you know, I like foreign things, and I like, you know, not too foreign. I'm not trying to go to like freaking Tajikistan or something, but, you know, I'm open to the idea, but I still can't get over the practicality aspect. You know, I'll make a video about this eventually. I don't think it's practical to have a mulatto community like abroad, for a whole plethora of reasons. Latto Priest, having a mulatto family in America is a difficult project, especially if you don't identify as BLK. Yeah. Or live in a mulatto-filled area. Jorge, yeah, I'll bring you up, Jorge, later. Ramon Bellows. So Ramon, you'd made a comment earlier that I agreed with, I think, if I remember it correctly. And I've said this before, like ethnicity is far more important than race, but they're both important. You know, I think they're both important. So Ramon says, because the mulatto category was removed and there's no ethnicity to default to. Yeah. There was, unfortunately, a lot of mulattoes historically were forced into the Black community and not allowed to develop their own, you know, separate ethnic identity. Dun Dun, I asked to come up. I don't know you, Dun Dun, so I don't know what you have to contribute to this specific topic. Like, what's your case? What do you want to say? Tell me in the chat. Ramon Bellows, most of the world does not have this problem. Amma, we need to start with reversing the brainwashing about our racial identity. Yes. And like I mentioned earlier, we also need to make sure we have a solid understanding of what the hell mulatto means and what is the definition. So that's my starting point, is how are we even defining this identity? You know? Let's see. People talking to each other. Mulatto was a class in America. What is she talking about? What do you mean by class? I mean, it was a category that existed, yeah? Amma, it's because of the racial system being outdated in the US. Yeah, nobody wants to give it up. They want to keep their one-drop system. Latto Princess says, and now it's not, they won't let it be recognized under the Black liberal agenda. Mulatto Priest, I'm descended from immigrants. Yeah. It starts at a social level. Dun Dun, so you're going to find a 200K job in another country. I don't know why it has to be 200K. You know, that's something I'm starting to notice also that's a different between some of us. Some of y'all have like these really big like aspirations, like, oh, I want to be a millionaire and I want to have my McMansion. I'm kind of the opposite, man. I'm a minimalist for the most part. I mean, I know I have like this freaking like camera and this mic and this mixer over here that y'all can't see and a shit ton of guitars. But for the most part, I'm a minimalist. I'm not about having like these super extravagant things. But yeah. Let's see. Okay, people talking to each other. Seems like we all just need to migrate to Latin America. I'm open to it. I love Latin America. The motherland. Latto Priest, that'd be good, but we're not all going to do that. I think a state would be a little more realistic. Like the Libertarian Party all migrated to New Hampshire. You have to push back against the social one-dropping if you expect to be taken seriously as a voter demographic, unless you just want to live outside the society like the Amish or something. Yeah, there's, you know, we're all kind of debating this, you know, build a community in the US or abroad. And it's like, can we have a meetup? Can we go start with that? Like, let's have a meetup. Are we capable of doing what the Wasians did and meeting up? Because come on, man, if we can't even have a meetup, like, can we allot an afternoon to us getting to know each other? How are we going to do anything else, you know? And I want these lives to kind of be an online version of a meetup. You know, this is why I do my lives at the same time, same day, because I want everybody to, like, you know, have it programmed in them. Oh, if I want to, like, you know, hang out and talk to my fellow Lattos, boom, I'll go to this live. Obviously, there are other lives that you can go to for other content creators, but mine, I feel like mine being scheduled, that's a better route to go. But yeah, like we got to be able to like meet up in person. You know, I'd also like to be able to have like private hangouts, you know, but I've been in like different Discord servers and they're all like single digits and people barely even talking to each other. And, you know, one of the things I didn't bring up with mindset, but it crossed my mind, is the path of least resistance. is really something that is going to be an obstacle for us. You know, in the context of the conversation that I had with him about, you know, mulattoes moving abroad, like, people are too comfortable in America, man. So many people, like, you know, for mindset, you know, it was, he wasn't comfortable enough in America, so he decided to, you know, take off to Asia. But most mulattoes, they're comfortable. Like, even if they never find that mulata or whatever, from the guy's perspective, even if the one drop stuff keeps going on, it's like they still got a pretty decent paying job, I'm assuming. They can still, you know, afford food for the time being. You know, I know things are going up. And it's just so much easier to stay not only in your country, but in your city where you're at now, you know, versus going to another state. You know, like Priest was mentioning the Free State Project up in New Hampshire. A bunch of libertarians moved to New Hampshire, and now they're taking over the state. And they've got their libertarian communities up there. You know, how can mulattoes do that without having a meetup? You know, with having, like, I'm looking at my live numbers right now, 10 people in here. Like, I'm thankful for every person that's in here, that dropped by, you know, that showed up for however long they could. But 10 people, you know, when you look at all of our numbers across the board, the content creators, like, you know, numbers aren't there. Okay. Yes, I'm letting people up, but I see Jorge is asking to come up, and so is Dun Dun. Jorge, I'll bring you up if no one else wants to come up. Dun Dun, like I said, I don't know you, and you'll have to make your case in the comments in the chat for why I should bring you up, because I don't know you. I don't know what you're going to contribute to the conversation. And this isn't the kind of live where I want to have, like, randoms come up. Okay, let me get back to chats. Okay, so here, Jorge says, I don't meet up with soft people. Alma says, I've always said we need to have a conference of some sort. Yes, that would be amazing, and I would love to see that. Can we meet up, like, at a bar first? Can we just do that? Like, it would probably, unfortunately for me, it would probably have to be in, like, New York or LA or something, some major, like, city. But can we just, like, meet up and, like, hang out? It doesn't even have to be something as extravagant as a conference. Eventually we would want to get there, yeah? But can we just meet up? Can we do what the Asians did on a smaller scale? I have 10 people on this live. Can we get 10 people to meet up? 10 mulattos meeting up in person, hanging out, talking, trading stories, playing some poker or something. I don't know. Ramon says, but Latin Americans are their own thing, so are you. Why conform? Oh, you're responding to Princess. If we had meetup, it would be 1,000 times more controversial than Eurasians. Yes, it would. But I think it would be worth it, you know? And we don't have to start off with advertising it like they did. Like, I think we have enough Lattos in this space where we can privately advertise it, say, hey, we've all decided we're going to meet up in LA. So we pick a restaurant, reserve a table or something, and then we meet up. Do something, have some events, I don't know. Rent a conference room, I don't know. Slave Ship says, you don't meet up with people softer than wet tissue. I understand. Alma says, my friend groups IRL have always been majority mulatto. Really? Where do you live, Alma? That's your majority friend groups? Because I mean, I've said it a million times. I grew up, I only had one mulatto friend, and I've probably my whole life, like IRL where I live, probably like 4 mulattoes I've known of. Okay, people talking to each other. Priest says, right, that's the biggest thing. The average Latto lives in a comfortable industrialized nation. The Lattos of the past had to build those communities. Yeah, and like Mindset was using the example of like Asian Americans or Asian immigrants that migrated to to America. Most of the migrants that we have here, whether they be Italian, Irish, or Asian, Latin American, they're coming from some very poor countries, you know. I know right now a lot of people are saying America's being destroyed because of all this third world migration, but you have to realize, like, even the Italian and the Irish immigrants, they were third worlders too. By the colloquial definition of third world, meaning poor, impoverished, they were third worlders too. And they came to this country. And, you know, America isn't yet a third world country. It's not so bad that we're going to see massive emigration. Yeah. It's just not there. Let's see. Princess, if someone organizes an event under the term Latto publicly, they have my respect. Priest, Lattos today are comfortable. Every community that exists has been around hundreds of years at least. Yeah. And I agree with Mindset's opinion. He gave in one of his videos that there aren't really that many communities here in America. And that's very unfortunate. So it's very much an uphill battle for us. And that's probably the strongest argument against any kind of community, at least from my perspective, is that community in general isn't really a thing anymore. It's mainly online. And it's not even a community when it's online. Like I said, it's just a space. It's a friend group. Dundun says, I'm the biracial avenger on these TikTok streets. Gotcha. Let's see. Ramon says, mulatto isn't an ethnicity. If the category wasn't removed, I'd be mulatto racially. See, that's where you and I disagree, Ramon. I don't care what the government says or whether or not it's on a census. Dundun says, yeah, the host doesn't know me. I may need to start my own mulatto lives if it goes this slow. Yeah, if you don't like the live, you can leave. But I specifically told you, if you want to come up, make your case in the chat, but you haven't done that. You've just been shitting on me. So either make your case or shut the fuck up. Yeah? Slave Ship, he is hoping you aren't sensitive. Some of the other guys misrepresenting you. The thing is, I don't know Dundun. I've said it several times, make your case in the chat. I don't know you. Let's see. Okay, people talking to each other. Ramon says the racial part is the problem. I'm ethnically Creole, racially mixed. Princess gotta be New York or SC. Guess you mean SoCal. Amma says I grew up in the Midwest and lived my entire adult life in NYC. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that then if you're growing up in NYC. Okay, people talking to each other. Priest, right? It's much easier for people to build when they have to. Yeah. You know, so much of the things we do just as human beings is based off of necessity. And when that necessity is gone, then we kind of stop doing that thing. Like, this is slightly controversial, but I don't really give props to abolitionists in the 19th century. I have more admiration for abolitionists like in the 9th century. Yeah, when it was popular, when it was established tradition, and it was still somewhat necessary for certain tasks to be done, for a certain standard of living to be maintained. Yeah. Whereas in the 19th century, whenever we were going through the Civil War, like slavery was already on its way out, and we weren't really needing slavery that much anymore. Like the North was obviously doing so well without slavery. And at that point, like being an abolitionist is not really a big deal anymore. Like I'm glad there were abolitionists, obviously, but and I think a big part of like the problem we have with like the gender and the dating situation is necessity. People don't need each other anymore. Like technology by its very nature replaces humans, and we've reached a point where technology and government have replaced the family. They've replaced, husband, wife, kids as well. Like if, you don't really need kids to take care of you in old age anymore. You've got the government. So, those things have to be necessary in order for people to actually like strive for those things. It's not enough to just want them. For some individuals it is, but for like a large group of people, it's not enough to just want those things. Princess says, it's not immigrants destroying the US. Ama always had at least 2 Lattos in every class K through 12. Really? That's awesome. Slave ship, I can't front some of the Louisiana Creoles in Los Angeles living nice. Priest, like why the F would I build anything if everything is already built for me? Yeah. People talking to a priest, East Asia ones at least. Okay. Jorge says, are you letting anybody up? I guess nobody else wants to come up. So yeah, I'll bring you up here in a sec. I'm almost done. Okay, priest, exactly, Mulaton. Practically every physical construct was created out of necessity for survival. Yeah. Okay, so we're 2 hours in. I'll open up the panel. I'll bring people up. I don't know. Let's go like 20 minutes, I guess. And it'll be open panel. We can come up and talk about any topic you want to talk about. Damn, TikTok's moving slow.
Hello, can you hear me?
Wait.
Who's that?
Wait, Jorge.
Can y'all hear me?
Nobody brought that up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, let's be real. So why would you want those results when you could just make the kids yourself? It really shows you don't have a mindset.
To be fair, like Jorge, is that something realistically?
Stop. There is no to be fair. You don't believe in it.
No, it does happen. No, but you're not. No, Jorge, listen to me. Okay, now you're saying that black men might bastardize like white tea women and whatnot, and you have a problem with what he brought up. I think the fact of what he was bringing up is that is inevitable. So
but he romanticizes it. He thinks it's the most beautiful fucking thing on planet Earth for the black man to go dick down the white woman. And that shit's weird. Because if I go say this shit to a Dominican, he's gonna look at me like I'm a crazy psychopath. Wait, Normandy. If I start talking about how the Spaniard man needs to go dick down the black woman, you would think I was weird. Wouldn't you? Like, yeah.
Well, he was talking about terms of white population, though. Like that's been a key happening. So It's not like we're facing like
Yeah, but if I go to a Dominican live, nobody's ever talking like that. That romanticizing of men dicking down other women and having kids. They just do it themselves.
Yo, Motown.
Wait. You can go to the Mexican space right now, like Mexicans, mestizos, whatever you want to call it that day of the week. They're not going around romanticizing how Spaniard men dick down native women or vice versa. Nobody's talking like that.
Yo, Motown. Yo, what do you think?
About which part?
About what he said about, I don't know. He said,
Okay, Jorge.
It's matching like white team women.
Okay, so I wouldn't use the word romanticizing. I'm not sure why you use that term, Jorge. But what I will say is,
no, because you emphasize it. No, it's
okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so what I would say is that I don't like the idea of us leaving future mulatto generations into the hands of black and white people. I don't like that at all.
No, I would say this. It's mainly black people. They're the most dysfunctional group. And you have one parent that's, whether it's male or female, they're dysfunctional and self-hating. Why would you want that to be your parent?
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Does that make any sense?
That's what I was saying, is that like I don't view that environment to be the best for mulattoes. I think the best is to have, mulatto families.
But he's romanticizing it. No, he's romanticizing it because he brings it up. That's the point. He doesn't see himself outside of black and white people. He sees himself as a subordinate. When have you heard me talk like that?
Yeah.
No, but I think he's saying
no. That doesn't even pop in my pop up in my head at all. That's the moral story.
Like numbers, and in terms of numbers, he was saying,
but you can do it yourself if you really believe in your shit. If you really believe in the shit,
you're not gonna. No, but you're not gonna stop that process.
I never said stop that process.
We're not gonna.
Me personally, I would prefer if it didn't happen. But the thing is, motherfuckers are romanticizing it and emphasizing that's the preferred methodology of creating the kids. Let's be real.
Because I believe mulattoes should grow up with mulatto parents, but honestly, at this point in time, really, it can be unrealistic in a lot of cases these days, really. Just with
bro, how is it unrealistic? It's crazy. It's unrealistic to get with one over here, but for some reason, 100%. Wait, hear me out. Wait, hear me out. 100% of the mixed guys somehow are always compatible with women in Latin America who don't even speak English, have no cultural connection to them, and they have their own communities. But you're compatible over there. Does that make any sense? Even somebody like Normandy admits for himself, he's a Dominican. He admits that there's a disconnect between New York Dominicans and Dominicans on the island. There is a level of disconnect. It's not like there's no connection at all, but even he acknowledges this. But American mulattoes think that there's no difference. They have no cultural connection to these people. They don't even behave the same, especially the way these guys are so soft. You can't tell them. You can't have them on a panel at the same time. You have to talk to them like children.
Hold on a second.
You have to do like rotations.
Hold on, Princess. How is he policing? Explain that.
Yeah, they can get with Hispanic women over here, but notice they emphasize going over there. Doesn't that sound weird?
That is
and you sound like a guy.
Odd. What if you legit like the other culture though? Because Latin American.
Wait a minute. Wait. Pause, please.
No. I'm saying
pause. Please, stop for a minute. I'm gonna ask you a simple question.
Okay.
If you like Mexican culture, wouldn't it make sense to meet the Mexicans in the United States first? If you like Dominican culture, doesn't it make sense to meet the Dominicans in New York first? You're gonna tell me somehow when these people come over the border, all their culture leaves, even the language. No, they still bring it over.
Well, to be fair, I mean, mindset has lived in NYC, from what I've heard.
So wait a minute. Wait. So wait a minute. I haven't heard him say
Yeah,
he took the Dominican.
No, he has.
Hold
No,
on.
you
Wait a
can-
minute. Wait.
no, you can-
Wait,
Hold on a sec. Hold on, guys. Hold on a sec. Hold on. I don't think it's about any individual person, because I think we've all witnessed like a bunch of mulattoes, whether it be in like my chat or other people's chats and stuff like that, saying, "Oh, Cape Verde, oh, Dominican Republic, oh, Brazil." So it's not really just one person, but it's like a lot of people championing the men going to these countries, but then they don't speak the language. They likely don't know very much about the culture. To me, that's odd. Like, I agree with you.
Wait. Mulatto, I'm gonna say this. I'm learning Criollo. These guys aren't trying to learn that shit at all. I listen to the music. I listen to Criollo music. These guys consume none of that. They're just talking about going over there to have sex. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Because if they believed in this shit, why don't they meet anybody in the United States who comes from those backgrounds? Not one. Or even talk about, yo, I met this Dominican guy in New York or New Jersey or anything like that. Does that make sense? They're talking about unity between American mulattoes and Latino mulattoes, but they don't want to meet and they don't want to do anything with the ones in the United States of America. Does that sound weird?
It is odd, because like, in my situation, I learned Portuguese a long time ago, and I've actually met a lot of Brazilians, but I've never actually been to Brazil. And I just have like a genuine interest in Brazilian culture and the people and stuff like that. But okay. Hold on a sec. Mulattoism requested to join, so I'll bring them up. Let's see.
Okay, do we got to drop down?
No, we shouldn't have to do that. We're not children.
Okay, hey Mulattoism, what's up?
What's up, Mulatto? Yes, in regards American mulattoes and Hispanic mulattoes, I 100% support that, because I'm the type of person, I don't really put my ethnicity or my nationality first. I think mulatto genesis and all the American mulattoes agree with me. The reason why is that is because in all societies, we are not the standard of, let's say, if in Venezuela, mulattoes are not the standard. Mulattoes would straighten the hair and do everything to appear to be like a mestizo or a white person. It's because if we have a miscegenation, we have a culture where mulatto they tend to place mulatto at the bottom of the ladder. They tend to make us look like we are fucking ugly. I'm sorry for the word mulatto, but it's not always the case for Hispanic mulattoes, but in all societies, we face discrimination. So we have something in common with American mulattoes. I found things in common with American mulattoes. Shout out to all the American mulattoes that are doing content.
Mulattoism. Can I ask you one question?
Hold on. Let him finish.
Let me finish. And I essentially support the movement and what they're doing, and I wish this movement for American mulattoes grow. I support mulatto Americans and Hispanic mulattoes, European mulatto unity worldwide. I don't think all ethnicities should go first. We will always be in the front lines for monoracial people. So mixed race people stay together. Shut up.
Okay, so I had a question.
Wait,
hold on. Okay, Jorge, hold on. Okay. You said that in Venezuela, so like there's a lot of mulattoes there, but a lot of them it's being mulatto is not exactly a great thing, so they try to like straighten their hair and all this stuff like that. But like, is this something that's like common in all of Latin America from that you know of?
Not in all Latin America, in most countries. In Mexico, I don't have a lot of knowledge about Mexico. Why not Mexico? The predominant race in Mexico is the mestizos. Right? There's a huge difference between the mestizos and the white Mexicans and the mulattoes. The mulattoes and black people, the Mexicans tend to one-drop mulattoes in Mexico. They tend to call them mayate. They tend to call them all type of things, right? In Dominican Republic, you have a lot of mulattoes, but a lot of these people in Dominican Republic, they do not identify as mulatto. It's more recent. I start seeing more Dominicans identifying as such, but previously they would call themselves Indio, they would call themselves just Dominican. In all societies, being mulatto, yes, the word mulatto has always been used, but it is not a thing that we are desirable or we are at the top of the caste system or this quote unquote hierarchy. I know hierarchies will always exist, but for us as mixed race people, we need to connect to each other. We need to support each other.
Okay,
worldwide. I
okay,
don't have any problem with
hold
that.
on, no, stop. There's some questions I want to ask him because he brought up a good subject. I'll let you ask a question in a bit, okay? So, earlier we had Mindset on, and I can't remember if it was when Mindset was on, or maybe I was talking to someone else. I can't remember, but I had said that I'd gotten the feeling, the idea that there weren't really many mulatto communities like in Latin America. Like if you go there, it's like a whole neighborhood full of mulattos, and they're all identifying that way specifically. In your experience, like, is that true, that there's not really like just mulatto communities? It seems like it's more mixed.
Yes, it's not really like a mulatto community. There's a nuance. The only place that people will never think that there's a mulatto community, like for example, Haiti, I could say Haiti and Jamaica, or perhaps Curaçao are the only places in Latin America, but Haiti is the only quote unquote Latino by language, by definition, right? But they are not really Latino by culture. But that's the only place in the Caribbean or quote unquote Latin America that has a mulatto community, essentially, because since the colonial times, they have been marrying each other. Some of them marry whites, giving quadroons, some of them marry blacks, giving grief. But at the end of the day, those griefs and quadroons get together again and they made mulatto babies. I mean, mixed race, you're African, right? In Haiti, they had a community. They had actually a mulatto class and community in Haiti. That's the only place I have seen that shit. I've never seen it in anywhere around the Caribbean, ever. In Latin America, you don't really have a community where people, they use the word mulatto, but they use it in many ways. They use it for a business, for a coffee, they use it for, mulatto could be anything, right? Sometimes quadroons or mulattos, they say, I'm mulatico ese. He's like a white person with afro. He have, like, he's 1/4 African, something. It's not fixated like we are doing right now. No, you have to be 50-50. They don't really have this concept. So I feel you as a Hispanic person, you are biracial, you are mulatto, MGM, whatever, if you want to claim this identity back and you actually put your ethnicity first, you're doing a damage to yourself. If you, being honest, they will always put you on the front lines. It's the same if you are Swedish mulatto, if you're from from Europe and you have Swedish and you want to claim your ethnicity first. These people, the far right, these people who are pro-nationalists in Sweden, they will never choose a mulatto over their own kind. So this is why I'm saying, if you are mixed race, pan-nationality, pan-mulatto, whatever you guys want to say, it's better. I will support anyone who's biracial, you're African from anywhere in the world. That's okay. My take.
Yeah, okay, so I get that position of, in your circumstance, in like the Latin American context of like, putting race above ethnicity in that context. But would you agree that, let's say you have a pan-mulatto identity, you would agree though that at some point you would have to create a unified ethnic identity, right?
Yes, I agree on that. But the reality is that most of our societies in Latin America, they weren't created under like a mixed race mulatto or mixed race identity. Like most of these societies, and I even had a conversation with a little kid earlier, and he was very white supremacist. I'm not the type of people who are victim and make this claim, white supremacist, but he was white supremacist. He was claiming that all the societies were formed by criollos, and it's true. Dominican Republic founding fathers, it was 50-50, but most of them were criollo. Duarte was a criollo, white man. In Venezuela, Simón Bolívar, Simón Rodriguez, and all these guys, they were white criollos. Everywhere, even in Cuba, those foundations, those ethnic compounds, societies in Latin America, they were created on the Spanish colonial ruling identity. So we cannot really adhere 100%. If you're mixed race and you want to push this mixed race identity, this mulatto identity, you can really say, no, I'm putting my ethnicity first. This is you literally damaging yourself, because under those first republics and those systems, you had a lot of things that literally put mulattoes behind, So yes, if we create our own society, we may have to create like an ethnic or like an ethnic identity. Yes, that's true. But for example, Haitian mulattoes, I can give you an example with the republic, right? Not the kingdom, whatever. I'm gonna always use the Haitians. When they created this quote-unquote republic, they were only mulattoes, right? I'm not talking about the kingdom of the Black Kingdom, whatever. I'm talking about Pétion, Boyer, and these people. They were biracials, right? First generation, and they always put mulatto first. Pétion was a quadroon and Boyer was a 50-50 mulatto. Rigaud was a 50-50 mulatto. They created the republic under a mulatto elite. So the essence of that ethnic group, right? The essence of that ethnic group was being mulatto. Meanwhile, we can say the same about the other Latino countries around. They were mostly white criollos, sometimes a little bit of mestizos, you know? So that's what I think.
Okay, Jorge, you had a question?
Okay, so mulattoism. Would you agree that we should actually start, if we're all in the United States, whether you're a mulatto, Anglo, or really in any type of mulatto period, doesn't it make sense to start in the home country you exist in currently?
Well, can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Okay, so if we're trying to form a union with this Anglo mulattoes and Latino mulattoes, doesn't it make sense, if we're gonna do it, doesn't it make sense to do it in the home nation first? Like we're all in the United States currently.
No, that's okay. I think you can do it. I think it can be random. I think it can be random.
Wait. So okay, let's just say forming a union with Dominicans, right? Doesn't it seem weird? Okay, I'm an American, right? Don't you think it's weird I bypass Dominican Americans and go straight to DR? Don't you think that's weird?
Yeah,
I won't meet the ones over here, but I'll go to DR.
You have a point. My answer to that is that for the people I have interact with, essentially Vanguard, right? He's one of the person I have interact with. I have talked to him a lot. I know you guys have differences with him, but he don't give off this, right? What I see from him is trying to unite everyone in the United States, but there's some people who don't really understand this unity because they are brainwashed.
Just say my name.
Not you. I'm talking about all the biracials in the United States that they are minstrel or whatever you're gonna call them. They identify as monoracials, right? So he can't really bring these people along. Now you have people outside that kind of get along with this ideology. They are kind of supporting it. So for him, identity is way more important than the ethnicity. Yes, he's a proud American. Yes, he have all these things biased for American because he's American at the end of the day. The same way Dominican mulattoes are biased with Dominicans. But however, he will more likely support a Dominican who's proud of being mixed than supporting a biracial mulatto that is not proud of being mixed, you know? So that makes sense of him. And also, I had something going on with Mulatto from England. He's trying to create a city, like he's trying to buy farm and properties in Lumera, in Portugal. So we choose places at random. You don't have to be America because I am not from America. So if we have people from all over the place, we should choose a place from everywhere. You don't have to be America. If you like America, okay, Iberian, you can do it.
No, it's not liking America. It has nothing to do with liking America. It just shows something that's backwards with mentality. Like
I personally choose Portugal. Or Switzerland because I think it's more factable. I think the land is way more.
Mulattoism, you're not getting what I'm saying. They can't even say that Dominican Americans act black, white, or whatever. They can't say nothing like that. They're ignoring them completely and bypassing them and just going to DR, which says something that they don't believe in that. Because there's no way in hell if I'm trying to make connections, I would at least meet with Dominicans in the United States. If I can't get along with the same type of people that live in my own country at a base level, I highly doubt me going directly to a foreign country where they have nothing in common with me, they're gonna get along with me.
But the thing is, I've never seen this person. I've never seen this person saying any of this, right? I've never seen this person talking about creating a community outside. Eventually, the only person that's doing that is me in Mulatto from England. I've never heard Vanguard or Mindset talking about creating a mulatto community. Maybe they have done it in the past, but I've never seen it. The only person, what they do is supporting all the mixed race people across the world. Vanguard gave me a platform and he supported the fact that I am a Haitian mulatto and no one talks about us. Everyone talks about Dominicans, everyone talks about Venezuelans and Colombians, but these people don't really identify themselves. They see themselves as mestizos, as Indios, as whatever they see themselves. That when they talk about the founding fathers, they talk about some white person, some white Creole. We don't do that. Like Haitian mulattoes, they praise to Alexandre Pétion, then shout out to André Rigaud. Those people were biracial like them. So what I get from Benwa is that he's supporting me. I can really put down someone that's supporting what I'm doing. Now, the only person that's kind of literally promoting this idea, it's me. Essentially, it's me. I have someone from England. He was born in England, in Europe. We are trying to create like a not a community, let's say a network society, where we want also to transform that into a community, a physical community, buy land, buy estates, rent those estates, turn them into Airbnbs, ask people to move in those locations. And we choose Portugal. We also choose Canada. It's not because it's not because we want to go there and meet people, not because we're interested in women, it's because we really want to try something else. Portugal has a connection because Portugal is the first place where the Portuguese were the one that created the term mulatto. So we talk about Lumera, we say Portugal, but we also were thinking about Switzerland. We saw a very luxurious place named Gstaad, and we said we have to create something like Gstaad. So for us, it's not about meeting, it's not what you think about, right? Mulatto, I essentially believe, bro, that I'm pan unity, bro. I don't really put my ethnicity first. We are not really the standard, and yeah, that's in those countries in Latin America. Those countries are majority mestizos and whites. Like the elite societies are white. So we really like, no, I'm this first. I have a friend. She's a beautiful mixed race girl. She's literally a mulatta. I mean, she's from Venezuela. She can stand her hair. Like, she don't wait like this for 2 days, right? As long as her hair get back like an afro, she just go to the hairdresser and straighten it. There's nothing wrong with that if you love that aesthetic, but that's also a stigma that she had with his own hair. She said she looked masculine. She said she hated it because it makes her face look round, and that's bad. Someone have been repeating this shit to you, you know? So yeah, that's what I have to say, Mulatto. I'm literally not putting my ethnicity first. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, I think if I were in your situation, I would feel the same way because, you know, I don't really know the situation there very well, like in the present day, but knowing the history, everything you're saying kind of lines up with it. But okay, so I think I'm gonna
Mulattoism. Do you think this has nothing to do with like mulattoes in general? Just collectively, people don't discard their ethnic group. Only in the United States, where I could objectively say, for white people, they identify with whiteness, and that's it.
I am doing it, Iberian.
No. I'm just saying. Okay, so would you think of Dominicans as a collective would discard their identity as Dominicans, their whole culture and everything, to just identify with race?
Perhaps not
Dominicans, mulattoes in general.
Perhaps hold on. Perhaps not Dominicans, because you made a specific comparison, not Dominicans. You have to ask other peoples from other places. I know black people in Brazil, they may do that. Some other peoples in certain places, it depends. They'll do anything. It depends on the demographic. You don't know, bro. You have to ask each person. It depends on the demographic. It depends how people feel, how people really feel within the societies. If you ask a Swedish mulatto, and you ask him, bro, do you feel more connected to your race or your parent ethnicity or with the country or the ethnicity you were born in? They would prefer the race, bro. No, I'm not lying to you because this.
No, I believe you. But when he thinks of his race, he's not going to think of me and Mulatto. So he's going to think of people.
No, he will think of a biracial. He will think about a biracial. That's a whole different spectrum.
When people think of the quote unquote race, it's going to be somebody being typically closer to themselves. By default, that's an animal instinct. That's generally what people are going to think of.
But the thing is, Iberian, you have this caste system mentality where you're literally creolized. You're literally brainwashed by the white Spaniards that literally told you that you are closer to them because you are under their rule or their caste systems. I have nothing to do. Let me finish. I have nothing to do with this idea where I am totally different and separate to another. What happened? Yeah, I am totally different or separate to another mixed race person because he's Northern European. This is genetics. Now, if you speak about culture, if you talk about culture, yes, we have different cultures. It's the same way. Not all African people are the same. Obama.
I can prove.
Let me land quick. I will finish because I have to go. Obama, black sides from Kenya, right? You understand that? Many of us don't have like East African, because Kenyans are East Africans. But however, you still classify Obama as a mulatto. Obama looked like many of the mulattoes from North America that have only Benin or Congo. You know what? But they're still mulattoes. That's the point. You never compare between people from Kenya and Benin and people from other parts of Africa. You only compare about people from North Africa and South European, people from Northern Europe and South European. This is a very white Criollo mentality, a supremacist, bro. I don't give a fuck about white Spanish. I don't give a fuck about Spanish culture. I don't give a fuck about Iberian people, bro. These are not my people.
No. I'll give you an example for myself. There's a black skin girl right in my local Starbucks. When I told her I'm black skin just like her, she looked at me like I was completely insane and gave me that look like, oh, that's not what my people look like. So people acknowledge the difference. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what she defaulted to what she looks like, and what majority of those people that look like her in the city look like. I'm not saying
that we look. I'm not saying that we are the same. I essentially, my point is not about looking or not, or looking this, because we look very different from each other, regardless of where we come from. Not all Nordic mulattoes look the same. Some of them look a little bit more fair. Some of them look a little bit more dark. So look is, for me, is really nothing. It's something when you have, let me see, when you have the claim that you're biracial, you know you actually genetically that, and then I will look at your phenotype and say, yeah, you look different, you look like him, etc. But either way, Obama is East African from one side, he's Kenyan, and the other side is Anglo. No one's talk about that. And I will talk about other people who literally have different, American mulattoes that have French ancestry, and they have other type of Africans. They have Mali, right? It's not the same as someone who's half Anglo and half Congolese. It's totally different, but no one's talking about that. So if we are going little by little to see the average, because not all of these people are Anglo. Some of them are half Irish and half freaking and Zulu. You can really tell who's who, bro. Like it's kind of, it would be very frustrating to go little by little, see each one person and say, no, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. We have to rep this. No, bro, it doesn't work like that. It's even worse for us because.
So what happens when you have people saying one person is a mulatto because they don't look like the other group?
But that's something that have to be fixed. Like the person who made this statement is
okay. So let me jump in there. Jorge, you bring up a good point, and that's why I know at least me and Mulattoism have been really interested in like digging deep into like the mulatto identity and the history and its usage and trying to define it as best as possible. So guys, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you all for joining. Priest, your mic is still on. I don't know if you're talking to somebody, but this was a pretty good stream. I don't know if we made any progress, but we at least got people talking to each other in this space. So I want
to say one more thing, Mulatto, before you finish.
Okay,
I want to reply a comment. This comment says that I'm contradicting myself because I do identify with, for example, the Haitian ethnicity. The reason why I don't is because we have a group of Haitians that literally have their own history. And the history that white scholars from England and United States are promoting, the history that Afrocentric people from all over the Caribbean are promoting, is that Haiti was the first black nation and it was a slave revolt, which is not true. And whenever people like me are trying to tell everyone this, they are not interested. They are not interested in listening to it. They are not open to listen to it. They say it's all false, that the mixed race people were second-class citizens. And we are not interested to tell the world about this either, if they are not open to learn from it, right? And people like me, we all don't feel connected. I personally don't feel connected to this Afrocentric view of Haitian history. So this is why I'm saying I'm not putting that ethnicity first. That's all.
Yeah, I think the position you're in, that's justified. But yeah. All right, everybody, thanks. I'll catch y'all next week, same time, same place. Peace.